just to quench your thirst, just for you to remain alive. Lakin if a person carries on drinking until they become stoned, then it means that they've overdone it, and that is طبعا haram. That's when this qa'idah comes in. الضرورة تقدر بقدرها. So line 16, وليس واجب بالاقتدار يعني لا واجب مع العجز. Now this wajib can either fall totally, whereby a person doesn't have to perform it. مثلا fasting. If a person isn't able to fast due to illness, then they do not fast. If a person isn't able to fast during the day of Ramadan, or a day during the days of Ramadan, then for the whole day they don't fast. We don't say eat or fast from sunrise to 12 o'clock and then after that break your fast. La. We say the whole day is, or you don't have to fast the whole day. Lakin, if a person, for example, the salah, if a person is able to pray sitting down but they can't pray standing up, what? We told them to pray sitting down. So just like we've restricted the muharram that a person is able to perform, the wajib is also restricted to a person's ability. طيب. وترجع الأحكام لليقين فلا يزيل الشك لليقين. طيب. وترجع الأحكام لليقين, and the rulings are based upon al-yaqeen. All rulings are based upon al-yaqeen, certainty. فلا يزيل الشك لليقين. So certainty is not removed by way of doubt. Certainty isn't removed with doubts. And this qa'idah is known as what? This qa'idah, you've studied it many times. What is it known as? Al-yaqeen la yazulu bil-shak. طيب. That's the qa'idah. Al-yaqeen la yazulu bil-shak. دليل القاعدة. دليل القاعدة. الحديث. صح. نعم. أحسنت. لا ينصرف حتى يسمع صوتا أو يجد ريحا. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked about a person who hears rumbling of his belly. So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا ينصرف, he should not leave the salah حتى, up until he hears or he smells. طيب. Hearing or smelling means there's a, if one hears a sound or smells, then a certain smell, then it means that there's certainty that he has broken his wudu. Lakin if he doesn't, there's certainty that he hasn't broken his wudu. So the evidence for this qa'idah, al-yaqeen la yazulu bil-shak, and there are many, and you've done a research on the Qawaa'id al-Kubra. لا ينصرف حتى يسمع صوتا أو يجد ريحا. طيب. Also the hadith of Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إذا شك أحدكم في صلاته, if one of you has a doubt in his salah, فلم يدري كم صلى, and he doesn't know how many he has prayed, أثلاثا أم أربعة, has he prayed 3 or 4, فليطرح الشك, let him throw away and rid of the shak, the doubt. وليبني على ما استيقن, and he should build upon that which he is sure of. So if you're sure that you've prayed 3 but you're doubting the 4th one, then you pray what? You pray 1 more. Lakin if you're sure you've prayed 4 and you're in doubt that you've prayed 3, then what do you do? Finish your salah. Finish your salah. Why? Because you don't need to make up an extra one. Why is that? Because you're already sure you've prayed what? 4. You finished your salah. You have questions. Write your questions down. We'll finish at 6:45 inshallah. 15 minutes for questions. طيب. So the قاعدة is اليقين لا يزول بالشك. دليل القاعدة لا ينصرف حتى يسمع صوت ويجد ريحا. البخاري Muslim. And the second hadith, Abi Sa'id al-Khudri, in which the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if one of you has a doubt in his salah, has he prayed 3 or 4, let him get rid of the shak and let him build upon that which he is certain of. طبعا there's also an ijma' between the fuqaha on this qa'idah. طيب. Examples of this qa'idah. And it's a question, bring examples of this qa'idah.
If somebody's taken a law and they maybe have forgotten, like for example, they haven't wiped over their hair or something like that, then they're like, there's a doubt that they did, and there's certain that there's a doubt that they didn't do it, but there's certain that they did do it. They go on what they're certain for.
They act upon what they're certain of. Sahih. That's Kitab al-Tahara or Bab al-Wudu. Any other examples?
He has wudu and he's not sure whether he's done wudu or not.
If a person
The person has wudu beforehand and he's not sure that he's done wudu.
if he has wudu and he's not sure he's done wudu?
لا he's not sure whether he's got wudu or not. For example, he's prayed Asr
And he's not done.
and he's got that wudu from Asr and there's now Maghrib and he's certain that he hasn't broken or anything like that from habit. So he bases it on the fact that he's got wudu.
And bases it on al-yaqeen, which is that he has wudu. Any examples from the sisters?
If somebody is doing tawaf around the Kaaba and they're not sure how much,
How many tawaf they've done? Sah?
so they should do around this.
They're certain of ahsanti. So if they're certain of that they've done 3, then they build upon that. They do 4 more shawat or 4 more tawafs. طيب. كتاب الطهارة, كتاب الحج. طيب. What else?
Reciting the Quran reciting it, for whatever reason you stop reciting it, and you want to go back to reciting it, but you might have forgotten the exact
Location.
location
Part.
of what part that you've done,
Mm.
didn't do. So you go back to what you're sure of.
Wait.
Last
Ahsan.
ayah that you've done.
Ahsant. You go back to the part that you're sure that you read. Ahsant. طيب.
If a person's hunting in a wild and he sees an animal, he mentions the name of Allah and then shoots his rifle, for example.
Say it again, Afwan. Say it again.
If a person's hunting in a wild and he's got a rifle, he mentions the name of Allah and he shoots it, and as he's going towards the animal, he sees another animal pass, so he gets a doubt that another animal must have killed the animal he just shot, but he's sure that before he was moving towards the animal that he killed it, and he mentioned the name of Allah upon it.
So he's sure he killed the animal,
Yeah.
and he saw it fall down, and then another animal goes near the animal.
Yeah.
So you're not sure whether you're certain that you killed it, but you have a doubt whether this animal killed it. Sah. You're sure that you killed it. طيب.
You make a transaction with someone and make an agreement, but nothing was signed. You're not sure whether he made it set, maybe it was like a year pass or something like that. And you're not sure whether he signed the agreement, so you go back and make him sign it to make yourself certain.
To make it certain. Sahih. So you've built upon the fact that the certainty is that he hasn't signed it up until now. Then you command him to sign it. طيب. Implement this قاعدة in كتاب الطلاق.
He's not sure if he did talaq to the sister, but he's certain that there was a nikah that was done, so then the divorce then.
He builds certainty upon the fact that he's married to her and he's not sure whether he has said something that invalidates the nikah. طيب.
Maybe the argument, fight, and
Yeah.
he said a few times, but he's not sure, so he needs to go back and ask, and be certain you said it, or
Mm.
you said it a few times, how many times? Have to go back to what he said. say twice or
So if he says مثلا I divorced her, يعني I'm sure I divorced her, لكن I'm not sure how many times I divorced her. Did I divorce her once or did I divorce her twice or 3 times? طيب.
so you build upon like you divorced her twice. So that's what he starts.
Why twice?
But let's say he's not sure if he's done that third time.
He's twice and he's not sure of the third one. He builds it upon the second one. Does that mean باب الفائدة? Does that talaq happen? Is it, or if someone says I divorce you 3 times?
I was going to actually mention, bring it up. Could be wrong, but in Shaykh al-Fiqhiyyah rahimahullah say that 3 talaqs out of anger is considered as 1.
That's what I'm asking you guys now. No, you're right, yeah. But you've answered it, yeah. You've answered parts of it. Does that talaq happen? Does it count as 3 or does it count as 1? Why? Huh? No one's ever happy when they do a divorce. It's a general principle, قاعدة. يعني it happens 3 times. It's 3 talqat that he has completed in one jalsa.
Again, I could be wrong, but I think it was in the time of Umar where a lot of men were unnecessarily divorcing their women. So Umar made a fatwa, whoever divorces her 3 times, that it's considered legitimate. But it was only up until in Taymiyyah's time that he figured out the wisdom behind Umar's things to warn the men. So it wasn't actually a binding rule.
The wisdom was around. They knew the wisdom. Umar knew the wisdom. When he was putting the ban on,
I'm saying that people didn't know the wisdom behind it, because a lot of them continued and thought this was a binding rule, which it wasn't. It just to scare the men or to put fight into them, not to act harshly.
Nah. And that can happen. That shows the Sharia is flexible in terms of the ahkam that it has. During the time of Umar, there was also a famine, and he commanded that. طبعا we know that the thief, if certain conditions are met, the hand of the thief gets what? طيب. لكن Umar radiallahu anhu during the famine commanded that the hand there's no punishment. Why? Because of the famine. Ahsant. People were pushed into situations that they otherwise may not have done what they were being accused of. طيب. Likewise, if there's jihad, or even during the time of the Salaf, I believe it was the time of Umar, there was jihad, and the hudud, the capital punishment, was stopped for a certain period of time, for a certain wisdom. The wisdom behind that was that if a person knew they were going to get killed, they may run off and go to the enemy. Also, another wisdom is if by killing this individual you've decreased the number of believers in jihad, therefore you've decreased your numbers. طيب. That same ruling recently, about a year ago or 2 years ago, India made, in the country India, they made the talaq 3 times because people were saying it so often. طبعا when the media got hold of it, they couldn't comprehend and understand, so they had a field day. لكن طيب. So the 20th line, والأصل في الأبضاع واللحوم والنفس والأموال للمعصوم تحريمها حتى يجيء الحل فافهم هداك الله ما يمل. طيب. I thought I missed 19. Yeah, I was looking for it. Yeah, no. والأصل في مياهنا الطهارة والأرض والثياب والحجارة. Again, this قاعدة you've studied it already. الأصل في الأشياء الإباحة. بس الأصل في الأشياء الإباحة. That whole line you've summarized it in this principle and you've memorized it already. والأصل في الأبضاع واللحوم والنفس تحريمها. طيب الأصل هنا is القاعدة المستمرة. أصل has various meanings in the Sharia. طيب لكن when we're talking about, or in the context that the Shaykh is using it, it is called al-Qa'idah al-Mustamirra. القاعدة المستمرة التي يحكم بها. So al-asl, you'll hear this word come back and forth in the Qawaa'id. Al-aslu fi miyahina, al-aslu fi al-abda'i, and so on. طيب والأصل في عاداتنا كذا. So it's important that you understand what asl means here. It means al-Qa'idah al-Mustamirah, the general rule or the continuous rule that follows us. The continuous rule that we return this rule into, or the continuous rule that we return this matter to. So when we say al-aslu fil ashya' al-ibaha, the asl of ashya', these things, مثلا al-ard, the earth, clothing, stones, place of prayer, prayer mats. The asl, the continuous rule or the general principle is that it is halal, ibaha. Wal aslu fi miyahina, the asl for miyahina, our water, is at-tahara. So any water that you find, or when you're implementing this qa'idah, any water that you find, whether it's water in the sea, in the ocean, pond, fountain, anywhere, any water that you see, then it is ibaha. It is pure and halal for you to use. It is pure for you to use, whether it's the fact, whether you're wanting to perform ghusl or wudu or to drink. طيب وأنزلنا من السماء ماء طهورا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we have sent down from the skies a pure water, ماء طهورا. And the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, هو الطهور ماؤه الحل ميتته. When he was asked about the wudu, performing wudu with the sea water, because the companions said that we get on the ship and we don't have a lot of water. So they asked him about performing wudu on or with the water of the sea. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, هو الطهور ماؤه. Its water is tahir, pure. Al-hillu maytatu, and its mayta, such as the fish and so on, is halal. طيب. التي يحكم بها.
Doesn't include contaminated water, obviously, right?
لا, if it's najis, so this is the general rule. If for whatever reason we have something, a reason to doubt it, or if there's been some sort of filthy substance which has been mixed with the water and the water changes, then we can't use it to perform wudu or ghusl or drink or anything like that. But like in the origin is that it is pure. The origin is that it is pure and you can perform wudu using it. So the Shaykh says, wal-aqdu wal-aslu, the asl or the origin for the water or our water is at-tahara. طيب. Wal-aqd, and the asl for the earth is that it is pure. So the Shaykh mentions how many things here in this principle? Water, So it's the same as you saying, وَالْأَصْلُ فِي مِيَاهِنَا الطَّهَارَةِ. الْأَصْلُ فِي الْمِيَاهِ الطَّهَارَةِ. The Shaykh says, al-ard, sah, the earth. In authentic hadith, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, جُعِلَتْ لِي الْأَرْضُ مَسْجِدًا. The earth has been made a masjid for me. The hadith of Jabir radiallahu anhu. So wherever you happen to be, then you can perform as-salah. You can pray, or you can do tayammum from it. So wherever you happen to be, you can pray. So وَالْأَصْلُ فِي الْأَشْيَاءِ وَالْأَصْلُ فِي الْأَرْضِ الْإِبَاحَةِ. Al-Qa'idah, the principle which is continuous, or a continuous principle, or a continuous ruling. So we have مثلا the Qa'idah al-Aslu fil Ashya' al-Ibaha. The general principle is that it is permissible to use, and it is pure. All of the things that come underneath it take this ruling. Water, as the Shaykh says, the earth, clothes, stones, carry on, so on and so forth. So instead of saying, looking for the ruling and looking for evidences, then you just implement this qa'idah that it is pure. And you can combine all of these things, this whole line in al-aslu fil ashya'i al-ibaha. طيب. So for all of these things that the Shaykh has mentioned, the origin is that it is halal and it is pure. طيب. Number 20. وَالْأَصْلُ فِي الْأَبْضَاعِ وَاللُّحُومِ وَالنَّفْسِ وَالْأَمْوَالِ لِلْمَعْصُومِ تَحْرِيمُهَا حَتَّى يَجِيءَ الْحِلُّ. طيب. These things that the Shaykh is about to mention now, وَالْأَصْلُ, and the origin, or the continuous rule, فِي الْأَبْضَاعِ, with intercourse or private parts, وَاللُّحُومِ, and different types of meat, وَالنَّفْسِ, and life, innocent lives, وَالْأَمْوَالِ, and wealth, لِلْمَعْصُومِ, that belongs to the ma'soom. Ma'soom is the one that is haram for you to kill or to rob or so on. تحريمها, يعني the asl is that it is haram. تحريمها, it is impermissible. يعني it is abda' or intercourse is impermissible. واللحوم, and meat, all types of meat, impermissible. والنفس, والأموال, and everyone or all of these the innocent lives or wealth is haram. حتى, up until يجيء الحل, until we find evidence يجيء الحل, to prove or to make it halal. طيب. فافهم هداك الله, فافهم هداك الله, فافهم, so understand this, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide you to that which is being dictated to you. طيب. This qa'idah is the opposite to this qa'idah. طيب. With this qa'idah, when we were talking about water, we said the origin is what? Pure. Unless we have a reason for it to be impure. The origin for clothes is that it is pure or impure? Pure, until we have a reason for it to be impure. So for example, if you buy clothes from any of the, if you buy clothes from, like, method, you go to the shopping center, you buy clothes. Do you have to wash it? Shar'an, do you have to wash it? لا. لماذا? Why is that? The default ruling is that it is pure. طيب. Likewise the earth. When you go to a certain place and you want to pray, do you have to sprinkle water over it to make it pure? لا. لماذا? طيب. So the origin, the asl, the default ruling is that these things were pure and permissible to use. These things that the Shaykh is now mentioning are the opposite. Meaning it's haram until we find something that makes it halal. Until we find something that makes it halal. مثلا والأصل في الأبضاع. أبضاع, or in nikah مثلا, or the private parts. The hadith of Jabir radiallahu anhu, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when he was given a khutbah, اتقوا الله في النساء, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the women. فإنكم أخذتموهن بأمان الله سبحانه وتعالى. Verily you have taken them with the trust of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. واستحللتم فروجهن بكلمة الله سبحانه وتعالى. And you've made their furuj, private parts, halal with the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يعني النكاح. يعني النكاح. So the origin was that it was impermissible. Like after nikah, it becomes what? Halal. So the asl, or the default ruling was that it was what? Haram. طيب. Lakin, we have something that makes it halal, which is what? النكاح. طيب. Which is النكاح. واللحوم. And the asl for اللحوم. The asl for لحوم is that it is impure. As the Shaykh says, يعني تحريمها. With lahm, if we're talking about lahm that you're not sure of, or that you're sure that mushrikeen have slaughtered it, and they don't slaughter it according to the Sharia, then yes, it can be said that the asl for it is haram. Lakin, if you're in a Muslim country, or if you're amongst a Muslim community, and they bring, or you're presented with meat, the asl for that is that it is what? Halal. The asl is that it is halal. Like we can understand the fact that the Shaykh has brought luhum here, meaning that all types of luhum are haram unless you slaughter it. So making it halal is by slaughtering it. So the origin of it is that it is haram, lakin if you slaughter it, then it becomes what? It becomes halal. طيب. والنفس. النفس. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made haram killing innocent people, صح? Until we have evidence to justify that. For example, a person kills another. If a person kills a person, then we can't say it's haram to kill him. Why? النفس بنفس. طيب Allah subhanahu ولا تقتلوا أنفسكم. In many ayat in the Quran of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق. And do not kill the soul that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made haram, except with a valid excuse, except for a reason, except upon truth. طيب. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا يحل الدم مسلم يشهد أن لا إله إلا الله, that bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah جل وعلا, إلا بإحدى الثلاث. النفس بالنفس. طيب. Life for life. قصاص. والثيب الزاني. And the ثيب الزاني. الثيب الزاني. So you can have zani and then the ثيب الزاني. So the zani, a ثيب, is the one that has been through marriage, that has been married, or that is married, or that has been married once upon a time, that commits zina wal-'iyadhu billah. So for that sort of individual, his hukum in the Sharia of Islam is to be stoned. طيب. والمارق من الدين التارك للجماعة. And likewise with amwal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا تأكلوا بأموالكم بينكم بالباطل. Do not eat your wealth from one another upon باطل. للمعصوم. طيب. That shows that the Sharia is complete according to us Muslims, regardless of what anyone else says. And this is in fact a refutation upon those who kill innocent people and blow up innocent people, where you find hundreds of people in a certain location, they blow them up, regardless of what country they're in, whether in the West or whether in the Middle East or whether in Africa, wherever it may be. The asl is that it is haram to kill innocent lives. تحريمها حتى يجيء الحل. So these things that we've mentioned now, the default ruling is that they are halal wala haram? Haram. Up until we find a reason for them to be halal, صح? Unless we have, up until we have a reason for it to be halal. طيب. Line 22. والأصل في عاداتنا الإباحة حتى يجيء الصارف الإباحة. والأصل, what is the meaning of أصل here? What is the meaning of this القاعدة المستمرة? The default ruling. default ruling, the Shaykh says, وَالْأَصْلُ فِي عَادَاتِنَا, the default ruling for عَادَاتِنَا, our customs, the عادات that we do, our traditions, is al-ibaha, is permissibility. Is permissibility. حتى up until يجيء الصارف الإباحة, until something comes and takes it away from being mubah. طيب. دليل القاعدة هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that has created everything on the earth for you. So the scholars say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us His blessings. In the context of this verse, Allah Jalla wa ala is showing us His blessings. And the fact that Allah is saying subhanahu wa ta'ala that He's created it for us, then that means it is being put on the earth for us to take advantage of and to benefit from. طيب. مثلا, if we look at examples, people have different traditions. Different countries, different tribes have different traditions and cultures. طيب. Rather you find in one country different tribes have different cultures. مثلا الآن, some people in their weddings, when it comes to weddings مثلا, some people do their weddings in the daytime. Start after dhuhr and finish by 4 p.m. خلاص. Some cultures start their weddings at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Their culture. Some cultures have their weddings for 2-3 days. That's a vast field. Allahu A'lam. Different cultures, different traditions. Some cultures, before a woman gets married, she gets fed to have meat. In some cultures it's the opposite. طيب. Some cultures, when people are traveling, they travel as a group. And some like to travel alone. Some cultures eat different types of food in different types of manners. Have different etiquettes and everything. These are called adat. The Shaykh says the asl for these adat is what? Al-ibaha. The asl for these adat is al-ibaha. طيب. حتى يجيء صارف الإباحة, up until something becomes, or there's a reason for it to be haram. طيب. مثلا, well, before I mention the second part, this part is extremely important for the student of knowledge to implement and understand. مثلا, when it comes to nikah, some cultures do their nikah in the morning, and then at lunchtime, and then the wedding in the evening. Some cultures do it in the masjid. Some people do it in the masjid. Do the nikah in the masjid, بعد صلاة الظهر, and then have غدا, the walima, immediately. طيب. All of these are mubah, and that depends on whatever the community or that specific party want to do. You as a student of knowledge, you shouldn't try going against the adat of the people. Whatever it is that they take as a culture, you shouldn't go against it. Up until there's a mukhalafa fi shara', until there's a reason for it to be haram. If there's a reason for it to be haram, then you can't say it's the aada of my people. You can't say it's the aada of my people. Lakin, if it's mubah, leave them to it. You will find sometimes some overzealous students, when they want to command enjoying the good or whatever, they will start to rebuke people or refute people for doing things that is adat, that from generations, it's a cultural thing people have been doing. Lakin, to refute them for that is wrong, and it can cause mafasid, عظيمة. Especially if there is no محظور شرعي, if there is nothing in the Sharia stating that it is haram. حتى يجيء صارف الإباحة, up until there's a reason for it to be halal, something removing it from the ibaha, from permissibility. For example, الآن we can't say it's from my culture to have mixed weddings. ما في إشكال, my culture عادة. حرام هذا. To have a mixed wedding, اختلاط, is haram, صح? You can't say, Sheikh Sa'di says, والأصل في عاداتنا الإباحة. ليش؟ لماذا؟ Because it goes against the Sharia. طيب. Some cultures in the past, the groom will run away with the bride, and they will go a certain distance, and the culture was that if he reaches a certain distance, she becomes his wife, halal, and a certain distance. If they reach that certain distance, after 3 days, then she becomes his wife. And it's halal for them to do the nikah and so on. The nikah gets done, like she's considered his wife, legally according to them. طيب. What do we say to that sort of culture? Haram. There's no mahram. صح. Also, some cultures get married without a wali. Huh? What do we say? الأصل في الأشياء الإباحة? لا. It's haram. Because لا نكاح إلا بولي. لا نكاح إلا بولي. The Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم repeated it 3 times. Huh? طبعا the man doesn't need a wali. Yeah, and they kidnap the women, and it's considered manhood to kin. Yeah. Yeah. صح. It's considered رجولة يعني. It's considered a sign of bravery to kidnap the woman that you want to marry, and then, but that's their culture. Nevertheless, we can't say الأصل في الأشياء الإباحة. الأصل في هذا التحريم. حرام هذا. ها؟
No, I think in India they make the female pay mahar to the man.
That's what I'm saying. حدث ولا حرج. Well, there's nothing wrong with that technically. Like in the sadaq goes to the woman. The sadaq goes to the woman. The mahar goes to the woman. What they're giving her shar'iyan, it can't be called. What they're giving him can't be called the mahar. Like they might want to give money. So in some cultures, the woman's family pay for everything. In some cultures, the male, the groom pays for everything. Lakin, it's not the meher that they're giving to the man. I don't know what they call it, lakin it can't be the meher. The meher, shari'an is for the woman. طيب. Also, bila wali. If a certain group of people get married without a wali, then that's haram. As the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said. Also, it's haram to also look for an imam that is going to do the nikah bila wali. That is also something that takes place or occurs in our times, in our communities. And that is haram. That nikah is fasid. It's corrupt. So even if you find someone that does the nikah without a wali, you have to understand that nikah is fasid. طيب. حتى يجيء صارف الإباحة. So the asl for the adat is that it is permissible. طيب. And that goes for clothing. Clothing, people have different cultures. Some cultures, they wear clothes that, مثلا, the man would wear something that is very similar to a dress. Or in some cultures, they carry around a sword. In Yemen, مثلا, they carry around a sword. They don't mean anything by it, They just carry it around. It's a culture. Lakin, even if they have an argument and they want to fight, they never get the sword out, they'll have a fist fight. Lakin, the sword is there, they never use it. طيب. So cultures are something that you cannot restrict, each to his own, as long as there isn't a mahdhur shari'i, or there isn't a reason in the sharia to make it haram. So the Shaykh al-Islam says, وَأَمَّا الْعَادَاتُ فَالْأَصْلُ فَأَسْ for the عادات فالأصل the قاعدة المستمرة the أصل فيها عدم الحظر عدم الحظر the أصل in it is that it is permissible, and عدم الحظر or the lack of prohibition is the origin. فلا يحذر أو فلا يحذر منها, and nothing from it becomes haram إلا ما حذره الله سبحانه وتعالى, except that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has warned against or made haram. طيب. وليس مشروعا من الأمور غير الذي في شرعنا المذكور أو في شرعنا المذكور. So for this قاعدة we'll carry on next week inshallah, for the 23rd one, because the line, or line 23, because it requires a lot of explanation. وبالله توفيق.